Einen herzlichen Applaus für Magnus Carlsen. Ich muss das Interview leider auf Englisch führen, da mein Norwegisch nicht ausreicht. I said I have to interview in English because my Norwegian is not sufficient.
Yeah, I can speak a bit of German, but I think people understand me better if I speak English.
Okay. Magnus, our question is the human brain still better as a robot? And to approach this question, I would like to ask you some questions about how do you think playing chess, and then later, how does a robot think playing chess? So let's say you are in a game with a strong opponent, you have a position on the board. What do you do?
I think for me the main difference between playing sort of artificial intelligence and a human opponent is that with a human opponent you always it's not like you expect, but you anticipate that if you put pressure, your opponent will make a mistake. They will blunder at some point, and there's like a struggle between ideas. If you're playing the computer, you'll know that it will not blunder tactically, and it's probably going to make some misjudgments, but it's nearly always going to compensate, more than compensate by that by calculating so much faster than we can.
So calculation is a strong point of the machine. They can calculate faster than we do.
Yes, obviously that's always going to be the problem, and that's something that we can never we can never shoot the gap there. That's always going to be a difference that we cannot compete with that in the long run.
What about intuition? What role plays intuition when you play a game? Do you always calculate when you see a position, or do you have also some intuition about what to do?
Well, this is one advantage that humans have over computers, and also strong players over weaker players, that we don't have to consider every single move, because some of them we know are bad in general terms. That might lead to mistakes sometimes, because we wouldn't consider a move that we think is outlandish, while it actually might be good in that particular scenario. But over time, following in your intuition in these cases will be beneficial. So I think all strong players rely on their intuition whenever whatever opponent they are facing, and certainly for me, it's been an ally of mine for many years, and I feel that whenever I play badly, it's because I don't follow my intuition. I overthink things.
So that doesn't mean that if you have a certain position on the board and you have a look on this position, you don't start to calculate immediately, but you have a certain idea what's wrong with it, or what, let's say, a chess piece is in a bad situation or something like this.
Yeah, no, I mean, first you look and then you calculate. Like, first is just look, no like pure calculation at the start. Yeah, let's say there is a knight in the corner which has very few squares, then you don't usually don't have to calculate long variations to verify that this knight is in trouble. You just say, yeah, this is not good.
So it may happen that a weaker player look at the position and he doesn't see anything. He starts to calculate. He thinks, oh, my opponent could do this, and then I could do that. while you just see, okay, there's a structural problem, and how could I solve it, and then start to calculate specific variations.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, first you have to identify the sort of the characteristics of the position, and then you can at some point start to calculate. Because I mean, you always have to verify your intuition in some way, at least if it's not completely obvious. You have to do that eventually, but again, it's not the first thing you do.
Mm-hmm. Would you say that machines have intuition?
It can feel like that sometimes. Yeah, because they don't consider every single move. Like they have algorithms that allow them to cut out certain possibilities and stop calculating certain lines after a certain point. The thing is that it feels like obviously they don't have intuition. I mean, they cannot. But still, it feels like the best computers are playing more and more human chess, like closer to human chess, and that's making them better, because they don't make so many of those mistakes that they used to, which was based on the horizon of the computer. They are much better at avoiding those. Yeah.
Have you seen, let's say, a game between two chess programs, and then at a certain point you thought, oh, that was a good idea, what he did?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, there is, for instance, a tournament right now between the best computers in the world, and frankly, I mean, most of the games are rubbish. To me, anyway, maybe I just don't understand them. Maybe it's just way beyond me. But still, I feel like if the brand of chess they are playing is something that cannot be understood by humans, then it's not so much worth for us anyway. But some of the games have really brilliant, deep ideas that I try to learn from. But sometimes it's yeah, finding a needle in the haystack, like yeah.
So, but if the machines have no intuition, they have ideas?
Well, I mean, no.
It just
no,
looks
but
like.
it looks like they have ideas. Yeah.
And what about the rubbish? What appeals to you as rubbish when two machines play against each other?
It's just a game without ideas, basically. Like they are making moves, they are moving the pieces around, but again, either the ideas are too deep for me and other top chess players, or there is simply there is no sort of logical thread there. It's just about making the move that the computer considers the best at any time, which is obviously what they do, but it doesn't feel like there is anything more.
Chess has been a fascinating game for 1,500 years or so, and in the last 500 years the rules are the same, haven't changed. But the way chess is played today has changed a lot in the last, let's say, 40 years or so, through computerization. So if you were a grandmaster some decades ago, you could probably play a certain good variation, a certain opening for some weeks in tournaments, and today you can play it once, because the next day all your new idea is in the world and other players know it and think about new ideas in the openings to counter these ideas. So In my view, preparation has changed a lot for nowadays grandmasters. I often see grandmasters in tournaments who were not looking at the board, but looking up in the sky and thinking, well, I have seen this position in the opening before, but what was the move I wanted to play? So that part of the game in the beginning is prepared, but this preparation is going so fast. How do you cope with that? Do you bother a lot about that?
I think often when it comes to opening knowledge, especially virtually no knowledge might be better than partial knowledge. I mean, the worst thing you can do is try to remember what you've analyzed.
Does it happen to you?
Yeah, sometimes, but not as much as some other strong players, because I don't have that much analysis to remember. It's a strange thing. Like more knowledge doesn't necessarily translate into better results, because I think when you think at the board with a fresh mind, you are probably better suited to pose a human opponent human problems, rather than what the computer thinks is the best. And yeah, I mean, I hear about it all the time, that people are mixing up these lines because they are trying to remember this prior knowledge that was acquired with computers, and it turns out that this knowledge was flawed in a way, or they can only partially remember it. And I think that's really stupid. I mean, we're just making ourselves dumber in that way.
So this is a conscious decision that you try to reduce this before the game knowledge, and just to try to expand the real game, the fight in the game.
Yeah, no, I mean, clearly you need to know some things, but for me, yeah, I definitely feel that if I don't know something very well, then it's better.
We will see that later. Thank you very much for being
Thank you.
here. Vielen Dank, dass Sie alle gekommen sind. Und gleich gibt es, glaube ich, noch ein kleines Get-Together draußen und einen wunderschönen Tag noch.